All right, picture this for a second. You're standing in a snow-covered forest, lit only by the moonlight. It is dead silent. Now, for almost every predator out there in that freezing dark, killing is bound by one singular ancient rule. It's just about survival. Hunger drives the hunt, right? And when the stomach is full, the violence, well, it stops. It has to, because out there, energy is way too precious to waste. But today, we're looking at a predator that violently shatters this ultimate law of the natural world. We're talking about a creature capable of wiping out entire groups of prey in a single night, and it's driven not by a need for food, but by this deeply terrifying instinct buried right down in its evolutionary design.
Imagine waking up on an isolated farm. You walk out into that freezing morning air, and you just stumble upon this absolutely chilling scene of total devastation. I mean, dozens of carcasses just scattered across the blood-stained snow. Sheep, birds, maybe rabbits, literally slaughtered far, far beyond what any predator could ever actually consume. And the air is just still, that terrifying stillness right after a massacre. But here is the most unsettling part of the whole thing. The killer has already vanished back into the tree line, and out of all those bodies left behind, only a single one was actually taken to be eaten.
So it brings up this really unsettling question, right? Why kill when the stomach is already full? I mean, as humans, we just instinctively assume that hunting is purely driven by hunger. We look at a scene of mass death like that, and we see this unnatural waste of life. We see cruelty. Historically, humans actually believed evil spirits were responsible for this stuff because no normal animal acts that way, right? But the thing is, nature operates on a completely different frequency than human emotion.
The stark, totally clinical reality behind all this horror is what science actually calls surplus killing. Basically, it's a biological phenomenon where a predator just continues to attack, biting, tearing through trapped prey, locked in this cycle that has absolutely nothing to do with immediate hunger. It is a response driven entirely by evolutionary instinct. So the violence here, it isn't malice. It's actually an ancient program running perfectly, just completely blind to the fact that it's no longer necessary.
Section 1. The Ice Age Blueprint. A design born from starvation.
To really wrap our heads around this terrifying instinct, we kind of have to leave the modern world completely behind. We have to strip away our comfortable farms and fences and step way back into the prehistoric frozen wilderness. We're talking millions of years ago, where the ancestors of the wolf lived under this constant, looming threat of starvation during brutal Ice Age winters. Back then, food was never, ever guaranteed. Entire packs could wander the ice and just starve for weeks. So hundreds of thousands of years ago, evolution actually wrote a new code. When a rare, vulnerable hunting opportunity finally presents itself, you kill everything possible. You don't stop until the movement stops, because any meat left over can be hidden or defended or scavenged later, right? But here in the modern day, human agriculture built fences. We created these confined environments that tragically short-circuit this ancient starvation-driven code.
It all boils down to this really brutal truth. Natural selection does not create kindness, it creates effectiveness. Out there in the dark forests, evolution, it doesn't understand mercy at all. It only rewards survival. Literally every single instinct inside a predator exists because at some point in the harsh history of our planet, it kept that species from going extinct. The wolf's relentless aggression? That's exactly what saved it from the ice, the famine, and the death that just erased countless other species.
You see, human morality instinctively attaches concepts of cruelty and evil and mercy to violence. It's what we do. We project our own minds onto the wild. But nature's logic, it's a cold, indifferent machine. It operates entirely on genetic continuation, caloric efficiency, and survival. A wolf doesn't look at a pen full of sheep and feel malice. It looks at the pen, and its brain immediately processes a biological jackpot, an absolute opportunity to ensure its entire pack survives the winter.
Section 2. Trapped in the trigger, the biological glitch of modern confinement.
Okay, so if surplus killing is this prehistoric survival tool, what happens when it collides with human civilization? Well, it triggers this terrifying mechanical cascade of events. Step 1, the prey is confined within human-made fences or these dark enclosures. Step 2, the wolves enter, and the animal's total inability to escape creates this rapid spreading panic. Then comes step 3, the trigger. That frantic, desperate movement instantly fires the ancient predatory pursuit responses right in the wolf's brain. And finally, step 4. Because the movement never stops within that tight space, the predator becomes locked into this inescapable repeating biological kill cycle. At this point, they aren't even hunting anymore. They are literally triggered into an endless loop of striking at movement.
But listen to this. Wolves are definitely not alone in this dark reality. This glitch, it actually exists all across the animal kingdom. You've got foxes slaughtering entirely beyond their needs inside dark chicken coops, weasels wiping out dozens of animals in confined burrows, even orcas violently playing with marine prey without ever eating it. And honestly, perhaps the most unsettling one of all, domestic dogs, household pets. Triggered by sudden fear or chaos or pack mentality, they can enter the exact same predatory frenzy. The monster in the woods is, quite literally, also sleeping at the foot of your bed.
Section 3. Our evolutionary mirror, recognizing the predator within.
So why has humanity always been so uniquely terrified of and honestly utterly obsessed with the wolf? I mean, across every culture, every single continent where they roam, they haunt our nightmares. Well, it's because when we look at them, we are looking into a mirror. Think about it. Ancient wolves were highly intelligent, social hunters relying on massive endurance, complex pack hierarchies, and brutal, coordinated efficiency. And early humans, we were the exact same thing. Highly intelligent social hunters relying on endurance, deep tribal cooperation, and strategic slaughter. The really chilling reality here is that humans and wolves actually conquered the Earth using the exact same predatory strategies. We were the exact same kind of biological machine.
And because they were pretty much our only true equals out there in the wild, what do? We turned them into demons. Norse mythology imagined these monstrous wolves like Fenrir, capable of literally devouring the world. Medieval Europe painted them as actual symbols of darkness, death, and the devil. We launched centuries of ruthless eradication campaigns, just trying to wipe them off the face of the earth. We hated them because we deeply feared those ruthless survival instincts staring right back at us from the shadows of the tree line.
We built walls, we built cities, and we tried really hard to forget the dark forests we came from. But the thing is, civilization changed way faster than biology ever could. As the saying goes, deep within modern civilization, remnants of prehistoric survival behavior still influence human psychology. Just like the domestic dog is hiding the ancient wolf beneath its friendly surface, modern humanity is hiding a prehistoric wilderness right beneath our everyday lives.
Our own surviving code is written in that exact same language: deep-rooted fear responses, sudden instinctual aggression, territorial conflict that can so easily spiral into global wars, intense tribal loyalty, and of course ruthless competition over resources. The biological reality of the wolf's infinite kill drive is actually directly connected to our own human survival psychology. We are driven by these ancient codes that tell us to take absolutely everything we can to conquer our environment because deep down our brains still remember the Ice Age. Ancient instincts, they never truly die. They just kind of adapt to the modern enclosure.
At the end of the day, the wolf simply reflects nature in its rawest, most unfiltered form. Out there in the cold wilderness, there really is no good or evil. There's no cruelty. There is only the ancient drive to continue existing for just one more day. Evolution is completely emotionally detached. It is this brutal, beautiful, and utterly terrifying mechanism. Which ultimately leaves us with this final, kind of existential thought. If a simple fence can trigger a dormant, uncontrollable biological massacre in a wild predator, and if our own minds were forged in those exact same frozen, unforgiving forests, how much of our own ancient programming is still just waiting in the dark?